Hey guys, Hollywood here, bringing you all of what has gone down in the big wide world of national enduro and off-roads. And that's exactly what we're going to be focusing in on this week. 2 weeks ago, we had the incredible round number 2 of the national enduros just outside of Pretoria, and that gave us some real good talking points. Coming into that round, the winners of the E1 and E2 classes respectively were reigning champion Flanny, who obviously moved up a category, and the runner-up in that championship from last year, William Oosthuizen. They both took wins on the bounce, setting themselves up nicely going forward, and that was coming out of the KZN region, a region that they both know extremely well. So they were the boys to watch out for as far as the championship went. Then rolling through in Pretoria, it was definitely going to be a different situation. A new venue, completely untouched. No one really knew what to expect there, but as we know, with the Highveld and particularly Pretoria coming into the winter months, it was going to be dry dust bowl racing. Very much expected to be like the Wild West. That area that runs just outside of Hartbeespoort Dam, and it actually was similar in a way. As far as the results go, though, it was Scott Burberry's time to come to the top of the pile. So Scotty, he was the national champion in 2017, but he's had a couple of bad injuries since then, and it really was his time to bounce back. He was on the podium at round number 1. He was at the top of the podium round number 2, knocking Flanny down a chalk, and obviously the last pickup on the step was picked up by Luke Walker, who's also on a bit of a flyer. So that's as far as the championship goes. It's going to be Burberry and Flanny from now on. And then in the big banger class, William Oosthuizen goes 2 for 2, so he starts to extend his championship. It's going to be between the Yamaha boys on the RBS and the factory Yamaha, and that is going to be Lloyd Kirk, trying to see if he can beat things out. Cade Manty, the other rider to watch out for on the gate. But a first breakout win on the championship for Burberry, him and Flanny going at it, and 2 for 2 for the big kid. As far as the 125 championship goes, a very interesting situation starting to form though. Ryan Pelzer took his first ever national enduro win on the high school 125s at the opening round. Then he takes the number 2 spot at round number 2. The guy that took a number 2 spot at round number 1 was Heinrich Aust. He takes a win at round number 2. So that's an interesting battle that we will watch out for as they roll forward into round number 3. Round 3 of the national enduros just around the corner. In fact, this coming weekend, Lesotho, I'm going to be up there, and Sharon Moore is running the event in conjunction with it being round number 3. It's also the bronze roof qualifier. So we're dead excited about that, and that's what we'll be focusing in on next week's Hollywood Hills. Also, what went down this weekend? Koa Bokkeveld, round 2 of the National Off-Road Championships. Here's what went down. Okay, so the opening round was at KZN, and it was a little bit of a gnarly one as well, a bit of a wild one, and you saw a lot of enduro superstars and hard enduro superstars come to the top of the pile. That was Wade Young taking the win, Double T Travis Teasdale in second place, and then on the overalls, as far as the big bangers went, Kenny Gilbert got 3rd, Ross Branch got 4th, and Lawrence Mahoney got 5th place. But we knew that things were going to change coming into round number 2, because Koa Bokkeveld is a classic, real big, long, dust bowl, rocky, very, very testing old school track. So that was going to be a big change up. So this is what actually went down. Big story, I'll start things off. Ross Branch had one of his worst days at the office in the last 3 years of national championship racing. He was down outside of the top 3, outside of the top 4, in fact, 5th place only. Above that was a rock solid 4th place for JC Nienaber, 3rd for Mahoney, 2nd place for the Dart. The Dart is on an absolute burner at the moment. He just took the last round win at the GXCCs, and he takes his 2nd place here at the Koa Bokkeveld. That's his best season start to date, and the numbers are looking good for Dart. In fact, it should see him climb up into the top 3 ranking overall. I think that puts Lawrence Mahoney in 2nd place, and the win at the Koa Bokkeveld goes to Kenny Gilbert. So that's Kenny on a 3 and a 1, and that puts him at the top of the pile for the national championships. The big story about that situation, and I'll just cover this before we go into the rest of the categories, is normally round number 3 and 4 is the desert, which is Ross Branch Town. You know, the, what do they call him? The Kalahari Ferrari. Kalahari Ferrari. I had to think about that one. But normally Ross is in either 1st or 2nd place going into the desert, and then coming out of the desert, he's taken 2 wins on the bounce, and it's very hard to bring him back from that point. The 2019 season doesn't go to the desert as part of the national championship. No, the next round is at Carnival City. So that is going to be, again, a case of Branch having to try and figure out where he is in the championship and pick up the pieces, because Kenny is the man on the move right now. The OR2s is 2 for 2 for Cole. Cole is the reigning champion. He's got the red plate. He controlled the cheese at the opening round at KZN. He controls it at the Koa Bokkeveld. He's done a real classy job so far. Second place and a great result for Lo Schmidt. He's in good form and he seems comfortable with his OR2 machine, the machine that took him to so many national championships in the past. Of course, this year he steps off the 450 back onto the 350, and Jazz Coetzee, his stablemate and teammate on the factory KTM squad, was in third place. But Cole is running away with this one right now. On the OR3s, big story is Cox. Bradley Cox is absolutely firing on every cylinder this year. He's racing MX. He's got number 5 ranking there. He's racing national enduros. He's not really forming too well at the moment. He has a lot of mechanicals and a lot of failures that have had to see him bow out of that championship, but he's busy. He's racing pretty much every weekend. And then down at the Koa Bokkeveld, he won his class. He now extends his lead in the national championship for the OR3s, but he took a third place overall on a very high-speed technical track, and that should send shivers down the rest of the competition because he is the man to beat on that gate. On the high score 125s, the big story at the end of last year for the GXCCs was a little kid called Davin Cocker. He's still a little kid, but the numbers are getting much bigger. He's taken a ton of wins. He's leading the championship for the GXCCs as they head into their halfway marker. He's also leading the national championship as they head to the second half of their season. So Davin Cocker, he was an incredible find for the whole shot squad at the end of last year, and he's paying them back big time. The rest of the age categories, no big surprise for the seniors. Bolly van Rooyen on the factory KTM once again took it, but he's getting pushed quite close. Wade Blau was in a number 2 spot, and he wasn't too far off the back wheel. Blau, his national championship win will come, but for now, it's 2 for 2 for Bolly. On the Masters gate, no show for Peter Hall, and I always thought that the Koa Bokkeveld was going to be a real good 500cc sit-down track. No show for Peter Hall, and that opened things up for the rest of the two. Wayne Farmer down on the 300. He knows he's going to have a fueling issue down in Cape Town, not because of how the bike runs, purely the length of the track. He has to do a splash and dash, and the rest of the guys in the 4 strokes can power on through. That's exactly what happened. It was a back and forth battle between himself and Faan van Deventer, and Faan got his hand on the trophy. So Faan has really become a championship key player, and Farmer and Hall better watch their backs because there was Faan van Deventer taking the second national win of the year. So what else went down this weekend? Our friends over at 421, that's Gideon Jacobs and Brian Herbst, they're getting themselves ready to go forward into the next part of their season. Brian has been shopping, he's been in development for a long time, trying to get his brand new, or probably 10-year-old KTM by this stage, into Race Nick. He's got it firing on all cylinders, got some testing done. He says the whole shot beast is back up and running and he wants to dominate the rest of the season. Good luck to Brian. And on Gideon's side, he went up to one of the Wildcat events this weekend and decided, as he does, he doesn't like to use his factory KTM apart from anything else but the GXCCs. Marty had some neck spasms, so she stepped out and onto the big Raptor for the first time in 2019. Gideon, same story, top of the step. Good job, lads. So what else is coming up for the rest of the racing month of May? Well, like I said, Hollywood here, I'm going to be rolling up and seeing what's going down in Lesotho. That's round 3 of the National Enduro Championship combined with the Bronze Roof Qualifier. So that's going to be a nice busy weekend for me. I'll report back on that next week. And then the week after that, it's the next round of the GXCCs, Bapsfontein. So that's going to keep us nice and busy. Then at the very end of the month, the last racing week, we finally get onto round 2 of the Farm Jams. So nice, fun, busy times for us. That's what we'll report on, and that's what we'll cover for the rest of the racing month of May. Stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Laters.